What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley. You can find me on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28, and that's the one and the only. It is Scott Savage. You can find him on Twitter at Savage. Scott, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, it feels like it's been quite a long weekend, but I finally can play something other than Splatoon. I'm not sure if I will, though. I've been stuck in Splatoon.
There you go. I've been stuck in the COVID scene for the weekend, unfortunately. Yeah. To boot things off, our internet went down like almost the entire weekend. So it's thank goodness Monday's back, because things are
such a fragile thing around here. We need more internet companies, I believe. That's
I'm telling you, it was one of those weekends. But it's I did play because I had no internet, which then breaks your Xbox. But then you are able to access everything on PlayStation still. So I downloaded, just in the nick of time, Assassin's Creed Rogue Remastered. So
okay,
yeah, it's the
You've replaced Assassin's Creed with Assassin's Creed.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I've it's the only one I haven't beaten, so I'm trying to go back to get it, dude. It's good. There's a lot of in-depth stuff in the land of Abstergo, which is interesting to me. So yeah, I'm having a good time.
I think in Rogue it was when the cross rotates and it rotates into the assassin symbol. I went, what?
yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, there's a lot going on there. So I'm slowly starting to work away at that one. But at this point, I do feel a little Assassin's Creed fatigue setting in. So I might have to step away and take a break, but that's why we're here, Scott, because we got so much to talk about today. Dude, it is a big show where people can join us live at 11 a.m. Eastern, Monday to Friday, over on twitch.tv/the official ITG, as well as YouTube at ITG. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later inside the game.ca podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. Over the weekend, it was a fiasco, not only for myself, but for Rockstar as well. Massive leaks coming out of Rockstar for their upcoming Grand Theft Auto 6 from a hacker who's essentially holding about 90 videos of in-game content for ransom. Blown away, dude.
A breach of this magnitude hasn't been done in a long time. Perhaps I'm thinking of The Last of Us 2, actually. Maybe that was the last time something of this magnitude leaked, but it wasn't 90 videos worth. Holy.
No, this is massive. John Garvin is not happy with NetEase and Square Enix. Still looking to sell, Scott. I'm telling you, they are not giving up getting rid of that company. Let's get into it as Grand Theft Auto.
It's like a reverse auction.
Dude, it's the weirdest thing. It really is. Grand Theft Auto 6 footage leaks. Hacker threatens to spill more. This comes from Steven Totillo over at Axios Gaming. 90 videos of in-depth footage of Rockstar Games' secretive next Grand Theft Auto game were leaked online yesterday morning in one of the most shocking data breaches in gaming history. The footage confirmed reported details about Rockstar's next game, but more gravely appeared to be part of a plan by that leaker to extract money from the game maker. A person calling themselves Teapot Tuber Hacker posted a link to the dude, I'm telling you, where do these
scariest pirates have the most serious names?
I was like, I had to read that one a few times to make sure I got that. I was like, what, really? Posted a link to the leaked footage on the GTA forums in the early hours of Sunday, saying in a later message that they grabbed the footage via Rockstar's employee Slack. Most of the footage is undated, but some of these clips indicated that they're from development builds back in 2021. Clips show characters' animation tests as figures run, slide, take over cover, grayed out boxes, so grayed out rooms. Dude, this is all just pre-game stuff. And this is kind of where things escalated from here. All of a sudden now everybody on YouTube went to their camera and go, oh, this game looks like crap. Like, dude, it's not ready. Like, I don't get it. And then this person,
you're looking at half-baked dough right now. It's not gonna look like cake that it will be,
right? That's the biggest thing. But the clip seemingly confirmed details previously reported by Bloomberg and Axios together that the game is set in the series of Miami like Vice City, and the protagonists include a woman in the first for modern GTA games. Clips in the test build feature a seemingly playable woman named Lucia, who is seen sticking up a crowded fast food restaurant, and a man named Jason. Dude,
that was the video that I saw out of all of these. I watched that one and
You saw
something
it, eh?
on a street level, interacting with cars and that kind of thing.
Gotcha. So I missed the leak somehow. I missed it because I didn't have any internet. But yeah, it's a long story. But either way, I'm glad I missed it because I don't want to see any of this stuff. But it's one of those things, right? We cover it, so.
Just wait till I tell you about the God of War leak. The ending.
No. It's funny because
I wouldn't dream of doing that to you.
I have a friend of mine. I got a person. I'm like, how do you feel about these leaks? Because they are on the inside, right? And I really want to know from the insiders what kind of morale does that set now moving forward for the rest of the game? What's the morale like within the studio? Because that really does take the wind out of your sails, right? When you're like, you're building something, dude. And here's the biggest thing: they're not even close to releasing GTA 6. Like, not even close. So the fact that people are leaking, like, you really don't have much to look at. And honestly, Scott, you saw the leak. How much are you concerned of what it looks like now compared to where it's going to be?
I'm not terribly concerned. It does look a little bit more plain, a little more basic than you would expect out of something running Unreal 5 or something like that. It doesn't quite look as crisp as what I expected.
Right.
But like you say, it's nowhere near done. I don't think this is a solid. I think it was more of a test of animations, or perhaps just the way the crowd reacts to you in the case of the restaurant.
Right.
But I liked what I saw, though. Everything looked a little more fluid,
a
little more organic instead of just rigid animations.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing for me is I'm excited for them to update, hopefully get more to the Red Dead Redemption 2 feeling of control schemes, and then bring that over to GTA 6. And that's what I was. But dude, this morning, about maybe like half hour ago, Rockstar themselves took to Twitter a message from Rockstar Games. We recently suffered a network intrusion in which an unauthorized third party illegally accessed and downloaded confidential information from our systems, including early development footage for the Grand Theft Auto, the next Grand Theft Auto. At this time, we do not anticipate any disruption to our live game services, nor any long-term effect on the development of our ongoing projects. We are extremely disappointed to have any details of our next game shared with you all in this way. Our work on the next Grand Theft Auto game will continue as planned and remain as committed as ever to delivering an experience for you, our players, that truly exceeds your expectations. We will update everyone again soon, and of course, we'll properly introduce you to the next game when it's ready. We want to thank everyone for their ongoing support through this situation. The Rockstar Games team. Scott, it just sucks, man. Like, I cannot wait for the next Grand Theft Auto game, and so is everybody else. Like, we're all excited, but holding the company for ransom, dude. I saw someone post on Twitter, how much are we looking forward to this person getting busted, and kind of making an example of what happens when you get into these leaked information situations and try to hack somebody. Dude, like, Rockstar is not a small company.
No, there was a lot of details, a lot of complications that happened over the last day as well. It's been spoken about that I can't confirm this, but the hackers' profiles started shutting down. Some of the profiles they used to bring this information out have been completely erased. And rumor has it's because somebody was able to find a location, an IP address. Somebody was able to look in and find out where this person is, which goes beyond what you should do to police a situation like this. Man. But you better believe Rockstar is going to show up in a tank with a cease and desist.
Yeah, this is just, dude. We've never seen a hack. Well, okay, I say that. I don't know if you remember because you were on Xbox. PlayStation 3 got shut down for a month.
Yeah, I do recall actually, and
Right?
I think it resulted in a lot of account information being stolen as well.
There's a
That could
ton
be
of
a different
information.
event. It's happened so many times.
Yeah, we were on media blackout. We were on PlayStation blackout for a month. I couldn't believe it, dude. They got hacked and got taken right down. So there are some big instances where people are coming in and they are hacking. But for what? Like, what? You just cause so much headache for everybody else who just wants to enjoy something, right? This is a hobby at the end of the day for thousands upon millions of, actually, yeah, millions of people, billions of people, right? Like, it's crazy to think of. But yet somebody walks in and decides to hack and just disrupt everything, and it doesn't solve anything.
Well,
That's the biggest thing.
They could have, taken the time, the advantage to maybe save Red Dead Online. You turn it into a big ransom situation. Well, can we just put a team on Red Dead Online and bring that to their attention? Although I'm sure it's what they see all the time on the internet. I can't go on the internet without seeing Save Red Dead and GTA 6 stuff. I'm sure they can't escape it either.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, it's just been too many hacks, too many problems, too many issues going on right now where people just feel entitled to disrupt things that they shouldn't even be bothered with. But I don't know what the future of Red Dead holds. Honestly, it doesn't look good. We've already heard from Rockstar that they stated that they are now transitioning all over into Grand Theft Auto 6, which makes sense because that's their big money maker compared to where Red Dead 2 was at. But dude, the potential behind Red Dead 2 was massive. But let's get into the next topic. As a tale of two Ashfalls, controversy ensues between NetEase and Lithos. Dude, this was weird. This comes from Alessio over at WCC Tech. During IGN's Tokyo Game Show stream, NetEase Games and Legendary Star Studio unveiled Ashfall, an upcoming post-apocalyptic adventure shooter MMO game coming next year to PC via Steam, iOS, and Android devices. Immediately upon hearing the game's title, we thought of another post-apocalyptic PvP/PvE game, also called Ashfall. Dude, I watched this. So I saw IGN was having this thing like, yo, John Garvin's game's ready to go. I didn't think it was that far along in production, but okay, cool. So I sat there and I'm waiting, and all of a sudden this comes up, and it comes up with Legendary Star Studio. I went, nope, this isn't right. Like, what's going on here? This is very, very wrong. Well, a bunch of things happened. So John Garvin took to Twitter and he says, I still can believe this. At Michael Mambaro, which is his partner, John Garvin. For those who don't know, John Garvin and Michael Mambauer are from, they're PlayStation veterans. So The Last of Us, Days Gone, they've all had their hands full in that. John Garvin helped write Days Gone. So Michael pitched Ashfall to NetEase. This is where it gets even worse, Scott. He pitched their game called Ashfall to NetEase. We announced in June with a website and trailer, and now 3 months later, they announced using my title and release key art identical to ours. Lame. They can't claim ignorance. Ouch.
That's just, it sounds like such a crazy situation. This is somebody attempting to sell copyrighted material to the developers of that material.
Yep. So Michael,
what a strange time of hacks and ransoms, isn't it?
I'm telling you, man. Michael then goes on Twitter as well. He goes, here's the original Ashfall pitch image we showed to NetEase with temporary logo. At NetEase, then he went right at NetEase, hashtag Ashfall. John comments in also, that's an image I created, collage from the internet source material over a year and a half ago. Some publishers are shameless. Dude, I was shocked. I started watching this game from Legendary Star Studio. I'm like, this isn't Ashfall. This is not what I was. This isn't. Where's Litho's game? And I'm shocked to see now that there's two Ashfall games. And then I saw, dude, it continues on Twitter. Still to this day, people were asking about copyrights and patents and all that kind of stuff. Dude, John Garvin's team was there first. So curious to see how that's going to align itself with NetEase and how they're going to get away with Ashfall if it's already been copyrighted and taken care of by Lithos team themselves. So
Is this going to be just? Is it just going to completely be shut down legally? Is what I wonder. I'm sure there's some charges out of that. It doesn't seem to be something
man,
you can do illegally.
dude, lawyers are hot on the press this morning, right? Like the lawyers are gotta
Yeah.
be just their phones are going crazy today, just between Rockstar and now Lithos trying to figure out what to do with NetEase. But as I'm watching this game Ashfall, this other game Ashfall unfold over on IGN, and I'm kind of curious, going, doesn't IGN also know there's another Ashfall game? Because I'm pretty sure they covered John's story when they announced it 3 months ago. But here they have this big reveal. So as I'm watching it, dude, it is essentially a survival Fallout scenario. And they said they're fans of the Fallout franchise, and that's what they're doing. And they got this MMO component. And I saw the game getting played because they had this gameplay trailer. And I thought, yo, Nate's going to like this game. Right? Like, that's where I went. But
any alternative that's going to be like Fallout, it makes me scared. Any sort of Fallout type game, as soon as you add MMO into that, well, that's kind of where Fallout fell off for me. But
that's fair. Yeah, so there's a lot going on right now over there, which is just, wow, a lot of questions, a lot of things up in the air. And I'm curious to see where that falls now moving forward. Hopefully Lithos will be able to come out ahead. NetEase is definitely a big company with big pockets, but I don't know, time will tell. And it's PC, iOS, and Android, where John was going for PC and console. And I don't know if they had mobile in there or not. But I was watching John's game. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm waiting. Dude, I was pumped. And then I saw that and I was like, nope, this wasn't what I was anticipating whatsoever. So yeah, we'll see what happens in the future. We'll definitely keep everybody up to date on how that's going. But let's move on to the world of Square Enix. Is open to joint ventures or taking a minority stake in its own studios due to rising development costs. This comes from David over at PSU. Scott, once again, Square Enix back to try and sell off anything else they can or just shed light on. It's
yeah.
We already go ahead.
Do you suspect that's something wrong internally? There's trouble in the company, or do you think that's just kind of reflecting of the overall economic state that we're in? Because the cost of literally everything has gone up.
Well, and that's kind of where they go, right? That's where their direction is heading in this conversation of the price to make a game now is expensive. But one of the biggest juggernauts of all time is their Final Fantasy franchise. How does that not kind of weigh in at the top, right? And go, doesn't this work out? Doesn't this pay for everything else? But dude, then they got rid of a bunch of studios over to Embracer. They lost Deus Ex. They lost Tomb Raider. Dude, they lost so many things. It's just, they're shedding and they keep shedding and they keep shedding more. And we heard rumblings of maybe PlayStation sweeping in to buy them. Dude, they keep trying, but spotted by Axios, it seems that Square Enix had a bit of a surprise ending for its investors briefing back at the beginning of August. Now that we can read the transcripts, it seems that Square is in fact open to joint ventures or event selling off majority stakes to the studios it owns. Quote, traditionally, it has been our general policy to open our development studios outright, end quote. Writes Square Enix president. How do you say his name, Scott?
That's Yasuke Matsuda. I like Matsuda.
Nice. Thank you.
That one before.
Quote, however, development costs have risen sharply in recent years, and so I want to identify ways of allocating capital to studios that give us greater flexibility. These can include not only full ownership, but also joint ventures, equity method affiliates, and majority stakes. Rather than insisting upon full ownership, we will hedge our risks by investing in studios via a range of capital structures as we work to enrich our portfolio and achieve sustained growth, end quote. Scott, I'm really, at this point, worried for the future of Square Enix.
Yeah, it doesn't seem... There's trouble in paradise right now.
Sure seems that way, doesn't it?
It's supposed to just be Stranger in Paradise, but
yeah. They want to just keep selling off, and eventually there's nothing going to be left of Square Enix. And I'm wondering how they can hold themselves together if they want to just keep piecing themselves out when they got rid of their whole practically their entire Western development side, besides Outriders is the only one they kind of held on to. Everything else stayed in the realm of Final Fantasy. So you do wonder, like, what's left? What are they able to hold from and pull in? But if they keep somebody just wants to buy in, they're like, yep, go ahead. It's just,
yeah, if you wanna set the internet on fire, sell to Xbox.
that's one way. Man, it's just what a weird Monday to wake up to, Scott.
I'm just glad you woke up on the internet with the rest of us.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too, for sure. I'm definitely curious to see as well. Like, so Square Enix in the past have been, okay, here's our standard, and then once the game's out, it didn't meet our standards. So then they didn't like Tomb Raider. Dude, they had high expectations for Tomb Raider when it launched back in like the reboot, and then all 3 games. Not one of those, I think, achieved where Square Enix was hoping to have them. Outriders, same thing. The game was successful, but not enough success in the eyes of Square Enix. But yet they still hold on to Outriders IP, and People Can Fly. So, dude, like, the questions just keep coming out of Square Enix and wondering where the future lies. I want more Outriders content. Dude, I was in it just the other day. I love that game. I want to see what they can do to push into Outriders 2, because we aren't going to get, I think, any more content later on, unless it's a sequel. But I don't know if Square wants to fund the project again when they said it didn't do expectations, but they hadn't set for it in the first place. So, dude, so many questions. Scott, you do have one topic you wanted to get to, though, for sure. What do you got?
That's right, Splatoon. It's been fresh on my mind. It's pretty much all I've played for quite some time now, actually. And it had a bit of some issue. When everybody's signing in, they're playing this game online. It does have a single player, but anyways, it's the multiplayer has been experiencing a lot of issues. And I haven't particularly seen the issues myself, but I've seen the forums, the flame wars going back and forth. It appears that there's a technical problem where if one person in the game desynchronizes or disconnects in any sort of manner, they get ejected from the game, but also everybody else does. The entire game grinds to a halt. Instead of Call of Duty, where people can just jump in, jump out, Splatoon does not allow that. So if you leave, and this is in ranked matches, mind you, if you leave, the game ends and it says, for leaving early, you've incurred a loss. But every other player does not. So it's a really strange situation. Like, I could be playing, you disconnect, and now my game's over. Back to the lobby, have to wait for another screen, another matchmaking session. It's not terribly destructive, like I said in the case of myself. I've experienced this maybe 3 or 4 times.
Sure.
But there's some people out there that are just repeatedly getting hit, just unable to play a game. And that's really painful. It reminds me of For Honor. For Honor came out and had that issue, and it was awful. Dude,
does this come back to Nintendo servers?
I wish it didn't, but I suspect there's something technically. There's got to be a technical reason. I've heard of it being described. It's instead of having dedicated servers, it's a peer-to-peer network. Okay. And I'm not technical enough to know exactly what that means, but it said that if we desynchronize a little bit, that's it. The game cuts. The connection is severed. And picture that with 8 people in a game. There's a lot of complications that can come up.
People always want dedicated servers, man. They don't want the peer-to-peer because you can't rely on somebody else's internet to keep yours going. Like, that's why people are dropping, right? That peer-to-peer situation, I think, is one of the worst. And when it comes to multiplayer games, to implement within your game to keep your community alive. If you have a dedicated server, a dedicated platform, then why wouldn't you build off of that? And I think, once again, this is Brad brings up ad hoc. Yeah, dude, good point, right? But the ad hoc
I'm not certain what ad hoc even means.
So it was on PlayStation Vita, and we were side by side. Scott, just like that, though, dude, we're gonna have to wrap it up. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. You can always join us live at 11 a.m. Eastern over on twitch.tv/theofficialITG. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later. InsideTheGame.ca, podcast services, and TV streaming networks around the globe. Until tomorrow, everybody, I'm Drew, that's Scott. We'll see you inside the game.